Welcome to my channel. My name is Medic Muffin. Those of you in the Chivalry 2 community may know me better as the Poleaxe. Now today we're going to be doing something a little bit different. I had a video planned and it kind of fell through, so I'm working on another long form guide. It will be for the Poleaxe, and eventually at some point I might get back to the 1vx guide that I was going to do. But in the meantime, while I'm working on all of that, I'll be releasing a few videos of some narrated gameplay. Now, one of the big things that I'm trying to do with this is to sort of show people how you can go back over your gameplay and you can analyze it, you can see where your mistakes were, you can see what you did right. And I think this is a really good way to sort of identify and work on fixing the weaknesses in your playstyle. It also helps to reinforce the strengths of your playstyle. So today's video will be for a pretty good game that I had. In the future, I'll try to get a not so good game because I think typically there's more to learn from games where you don't do as well. Anyways, there's not really too much to be doing for an intro here, so I'm just going to jump right into narrating the game. So there's not too much to say about the early part. Pretty much we're just farming kills. So clear out the boat. Teammates can handle the objective. It'll be complete here soon. And we really just want the boat to be ours. So we're going to come over here, we're going to take this fight. It's going to start as a 1v2 and, you know, target switching. I'm going to try to matrix this guy, it goes poorly, and then he ducks me. Nothing too crazy, just trying to be fancy. Kicks, always dangerous, a lot of people can react to them. So I'm kind of just tromping around here in this first area because at this point I'm hoping for the forward spawn because I don't want to manually run all the way to the next objective. Unfortunately, the forward spawn was too long coming, so I got sick of waiting, so I just moved on. So as we move up onto the tower, this of course is basically just a team fight. Now my strategy here is to sort of hang around the side because people are going to want to face where the rest of my team is. So the name of the game is to like aim past people and drag your attacks into their shoulder. It is by far the best way to get around their block, just like that. Now we're going to establish control over the near side of the tower. Both fuses are going to be lit. And I typically like to check inside the tower, sort of just to see if there's anybody who needs a killing, because people can be really sneaky with that. Now the archer, there's two guys after him already, so doesn't need me in the mix. He's pretty much food. So the strategy now is you basically just take a step back, you see where the enemy's coming in, because you really want to be able to get ahead of them and stop them from establishing a foothold near the bombs, so that they can, of course, explode. Now, there is a little bit of a screw up here in that I definitely have pushed way too far forward. Getting into a 1v1 with this guy was never a good idea. I mean, I could have beaten him in a straight duel, but it's TO, so you don't ever really get a straight duel. So, we're ultimately going to get shot by an archer, and the team is going to mop this dude up. It's just one of those things, you know, pick your engagements better. So one thing to pay attention to here is the positioning, because that is a lot of masons in this area with us. Overall, this was not a bad engagement, but towards the end here, definitely There are some fights that we're taking that we probably shouldn't be. But for the most part, you're outnumbered like this. It's a little bit of a stalemate because they're backing up. They're not really trying to push because that's pretty close to where our spawn is. This is where I honestly should have left, but I get tunnel vision with archers and, you know, bad counter, and it gets us killed. So fighting the footmen was the incorrect choice. We should have simply backed up and rotated around to the left side, or just gone straight up the center, just get away from the archers. But like I said, tunnel vision, so we are going to come back here because I want that ass. And the archer was nice enough to put himself in a pretty vulnerable position. And I don't know why he stopped to resupply. Maybe he thought we weren't chasing him, but whatever. Dead archers make me happy, so I don't care if it's easy or if it's hard. Dead archers is always a good thing. Now, the hamlet is pretty much a foregone conclusion at this point, so it's just team fighting, it's positioning, it's angles. Honestly, the hardest part about situations like this is just getting your kills before the rest of your teammates do, or even getting people who aren't already swarmed by teammates, right? Because if there's... We're going to ignore this guy because there's 3 guys already on him, and it's too much trouble to try and move around your own teammates. The kick here, unfortunately, is a little bit of a latency. I tried to counter through it, and it didn't reach the server fast enough. Whatever, it happens. The objective now is ours, so at this point it's pretty much just cleanup before we move on to the next one. We are going to tunnel vision on this archer again. It's going to cost us a teammate, but honestly, like, any price is worth paying for a dead archer. So I do apologize to the homies, but I will kill you every single time to get the archer. I'm sorry. That's just how that works. So this is a good duck to, this is actually to range out his attack and not to body dodge it. This is in my combat guide. I discuss all about how crouching works to manage your range. But we're just going to rotate over here because of the archers instead of trying to bum rush them. Most times that is the smarter decision. Typically chasing archers will get you killed. Anyways, we're going to get the heal, so it's going to stop us from having to hit the box. And we're just going to kind of play it safe a little bit and hang out in the back here. We maybe could have bum rushed the objective here, but generally speaking, it's better to kill the people who are up front, because then your team will come with you, right? Otherwise, you're going to run to the objective and you're going to be all on your own. So as tempting as it can be, because you can see it's wide open back there, you know, a lot of times, you know, I hear people like, you know, I go to the objective and my team's not there and then I die. Usually that's because you ran past your team, right? So we're going to come up here with our team, which is going to just make this whole experience a lot smoother, right? The Mason spawn is coming on our right side. You can see it there. And our team is holding them up, right? If I had just gone up there on my own, those dudes would have sworn me and beat my ass. Anyways, at this point, we're really just clearing people out so that the homies can do the work, which they did. And so we're just going to keep making our way up to the next stone. Just a quick note with getting hit by this mall player. I dodged when I hit him, when I hit his block, which is generally a poor idea. and I also dodged directly into his attack. So this is just a reminder to mind your footwork and pay attention to where you're going and where the enemy is swinging from. And if you're not aware, they did nerf dodges some time ago, so in the first few frames, first couple hundred milliseconds of a dodge, you are vulnerable. You can't block. So be mindful of that. So this is another situation where retreating and disengaging would have been the better decision. The Mason spawns are not very close to that final stone, but they're heavy spawns. They tend to include a lot of people. So hanging out next to the stones with very few teammates can be a really risky proposition, and it is going to get us killed here. So again, it's just one of those things where you have to be mindful of the ebb and flow of the game, and you have to know when to hold them and when to fold them. So as we come on to the final objective, we are going to just go ahead and fight through this transition, as we always do. Now, the druids is always really troublesome. This is a general issue with the VIPs. We are going to lose on this final objective. They just kind of hang out in the back, and their spawns are pretty much like right inside their own assholes, so it is really, really hard, even with a relatively bad defense, to, you know, actually win on these sorts of objectives. And this also applies to, of course, Dark Forest and Rudhelm. It also applies at least to Malric on the Regicide map. And, you know, it kind of just is what it is. They're not well-balanced objectives for the most part, but you know, you play for the love of the game. Winning is nice, but having a good game is nicer, at least in my opinion. Now, when you're fighting up around the Stonehenge area, you don't have to, but it would be beneficial to try to be a bit more safe and conservative with your gameplay, because you do not have easy access to healing. The supply box to get a band-aid back is like a mile away. So you really kind of want to preserve your health as much as you can, because the objective also doesn't have a lot of time on it. So, you know, taking 30 or 40 seconds to heal and run all the way back to that box and then run back onto the objective, it's not what you want to be doing. Even if you don't care about the objective, because I'll be totally honest, I'm not pushing super hard here. But even if you're not playing the objective, it's just, you know, it's taking time away from your kills and everything else. So you really kind of want to just play it safe on this particular objective. Now, there's not really too much going on here. It's just, you know, kind of fighting till the end. So this will probably just be the end of the commentary. And, you know, I just want to thank everybody for watching. If you like the content, consider a like and a subscribe. And, you know, keep an eye out. I'll be putting together a proper long-form guide here in the next month or so, hopefully. So I will see you then, and in the meantime, I will try to do more of these narrated videos if people find them entertaining and or educational.